What's up, y'all? Welcome to another exciting episode of YoTV. We're coming at you live from China.
He means Treasure Island. We're in the middle between the Bay, Oakland, and San Francisco. Up next for you, we got some Yo radio footage brought to you by Hot Chocolate and Russell Morris and me too. And we also got a personal story about Miss Angel Gomez. She went down to Guatemala.
Yes, right in the heart of Central America. Seems like she was doing some reconnecting with some family and some posting up with the folks. So
right.
That should be interesting.
Oh, and we got the album reviews. Mos Def, Nas, and Ghostface Killer. What do you think?
Killer.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm really into Ghostface. So check it out.
Up next.
Oh boy, yeah, we YoTV, we back in.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening? We YoTV out here.
Before we go any further, I have to big up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Oh boy, tell us if you know.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time.
Yo,
Good morning, Yo TV. We are back live and direct here in the sunny Frisco. And here we are with you, Josue. I'm so happy you're here.
I know it's been a while, so didn't want you guys, to miss my face. So here it is, bright and early with your Cheerios on Saturday morning. So, and also we got another blast from the past coming at us straight from Frisco. It's our good friend Anthony.
Oh man, thank you, Anthony. Get your booty over here.
Hello, Yo Veers. What's going on? How you doing? My name is Anthony.
That's right. We are here to help document the youth voices in the Bay Area. And up next for you, we have a story about Miss Angel. She goes down to Guatemala to tell you a story about how her dad carries a gun. That's kind of different, right? Because my dad doesn't carry a gun here.
It is different, but out there is like commonplace. You need a gun out there sometimes.
Really?
Mainly just for, lighting cigarettes.
Well, it's a personal story, and you get to hear it live and direct from Angel's voice. She tells you the story right now. Up next on Yo TV.
Back to my Chapina roots, going to Guatemala with my father. Early this summer, I got a call from my dad asking me if I wanted to go to Guatemala with him and his family. All expenses paid for 1 whole month. I hadn't spent a lot of time with my dad since I was 7 years old. I knew it would be an intense experience, but I decided to go anyway. It's been a long trip to get where I am with my dad. My parents divorced in 1989 when I was 7 years old. A couple years after my parents split, my dad took off to Guatemala. Even though he had 4 kids in San Francisco, he felt like he had nothing to live for here. When my father left, it was one of the roughest times in my life. I didn't really know where he was at any given time. We would get random phone calls whenever he wanted to call. He would come back into the States once a year, spend $100 on each of us, and then take off again. Around my 8th grade year, he took off to Guatemala and we didn't hear from him for 2 years. Finally, in 2002, he moved here with his new family, my stepmom and my 2 little sisters. It took a while to patch up our relationship, but in the end, I wanted my dad in my life. So I was pretty excited to take this trip with him, but also a little worried about how it would be to spend so much time with him. Before I left to Guatemala, I was going through it big time. I had drama with friends and family. I fell in love and got my heart broken, and on top of everything else, I was drinking a lot and felt lost. I was ready to snap at any moment, so this trip came at the perfect time. I needed to get away. I was nervous flying into Guatemala City. I was all by myself because my dad was flying in the next morning. I was going to be picked up by my dad's brother-in-law, who I've met before. But I was worried because my Spanish isn't that good. I could understand everything, but I have a hard time speaking it. My dad's brother-in-law ended up being really cool and everything was fine. The next morning we went and picked up my dad and his family. I was so excited to see my dad. I felt like a 7-year-old kid again, waiting for him to pick me and my sister up so we could spend the weekend with him. I was excited to see Guatemala through his eyes and to really bond with him. I didn't realize how deep my dad was in Guatemala until I saw him there. In Guatemala, it is completely different. He picked up where he left off when my parents split up. The area where my family is from, Rio Hondo, is a rural area where they didn't seem to be any laws. As soon as he could, my dad put his holster around his waist and stuck his gun and his clips in the holster. My dad knows all the important people in Rio Hondo, whether they're drug lord bodyguards, or just regular businessmen with money. It doesn't matter, they all carry guns. People carry guns there because of personal safety. You never know what's going to happen, and there aren't really police officers around, so everything and anything goes. I wasn't scared at all or nervous around the guns, especially during the day. Time is slow out there and all the people seem happy doing everyday things like shopping and eating. As soon as nightfall hit, it was a different story. I hated being in the car at night. That's when most of the robberies and murders happen. You'll be driving along and next thing you know, someone is creeping up in the car next to you shooting. The first week in Guatemala, I met all of my extended family and drank Johnny Walker and Gallos, the national beer, with everyone that came to visit. I discovered that when I got a little tipsy, I could speak fluent Spanish. I also went to my first palenque, or rooster fight. I've never felt so much macho-ness in one place than I did at these palenques. It was like seeing 50 of my dads, stocky guys with guns on their hips, throwing money around, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars. Usually at every palenque, all the major drug lords show up. They stand out because they're usually dressed 10 times better than everyone else and have gold chains hanging around their necks or gold on their teeth with no bands linking them, kind of like grills here. The drug lords in Guatemala are the unofficial government. What they say goes. They are intimidating men, sometimes scary, but they bring money into the small pueblos of Guatemala. The most memorable palenque I went to was at the town of La Pepesca. La Pepesca used to be a skinny dirt road leading into nothing but brush, a few scattered, run-down houses, and one store. One of the drug lords wanted to build the best palenque in Rio Hondo, so he bought the whole town and rebuilt it, tore down all the houses, and rebuilt the road into a nice paved one that could hold two-way traffic. He built 2 big mansions, one for himself and one for another drug lord. You could tell which one was his by the massive indoor swimming pool that faced the road. He built a few small houses for the people of the town and even put in a few amusement park rides so the local kids could enjoy themselves. When you enter La Pepesca, you drive up a dirt road and at the peak of the hill is La Palenque. I met so much family in Guatemala that I never knew I had. Aunts, uncles, and cousins. So many cousins. We stayed at my family's hotel in a little town in Rio Hondo called Santa Cruz. It was the best hotel ever, with an Olympic-sized swimming pool with water slides and diving boards. They had tons of bungalows and the food was just amazing. I also got to know my cousins and got to know what being a family really is like. That's a lot different than my family in San Francisco. My family in San Francisco has been fractured since my parents split, and it's only gotten worse. No one really talks to one another, and if they do, it only leads to bickering, which leads to the silent treatment, which lasts for months and sometimes years. I was accepted in Guatemala as if I was born there. My dad wouldn't let me speak English outside of the hotel. He said people would look down on me or maybe even want to hurt me because they would be able to tell I was an American. So basically, I was a semi-mute. I never knew what a chapino was like, and now I do. We went all over Guatemala, to the black sand beaches and the old capital Antigua, to El Petén, Huerticales, the Mayan ruins, and to Zacapa, a small town in Rio Hondo where my dad and stepmom grew up. It felt good knowing where I came from after 24 years of living in America. Even though my dad and I didn't get along 40% of the time, I feel like I understand him more now. It was challenging getting along with my dad. He's very stubborn and controlling, and at times misogynistic. No one in my family wants to say anything because he has quite the temper. But like my dad, I have quite the temper too, so we fought a lot. It also didn't help that my 11-year-old half-sister was going through a bratty stage. I mean, she can be a sweet girl, but she was so disrespectful to me. I think she felt like I was stepping on her toes in her home country, so she decided to be a brat the whole time. I have never spent so much time with my little sisters, so it took me a little while to get used to it. I feel that I have a special bond with my father because I took this trip with him. Really, my dad is the same person in Guatemala as he is in the States. He's honest, rude, funny, and sensitive. He always tells me that he's going to retire there, and I couldn't imagine him retiring anywhere else. Guatemala is like a big field he could run around in wildly. He is one with Guatemala.
All right, y'all, if you like that and you want some more of that, we got stories that reflect the new America. The new America is made up of all kinds of folks with all kinds of different backgrounds and all kinds of stories to tell. If you want to hear more of that, know more of that, go to newamericamedia.org, and that's basically the mother program that puts out Yo, Debug, Sprawl, and a bunch of other programs. So check it out, newamericamedia.org. Like me, I'm New America.
YoTV does it big, especially in the 07. We're doing this radio show right now, Yo Radio, and we got some exclusive footage for you up next. We got Russell Morris, our own personal reality TV star from I'm From Rolling Stone, talking about the top hits according to Vibe, music hits, that is.
And this is all going out behind the scenes at KMEL, so it should be pretty interesting.
That's right. Up next on YoTV.
Vibe released their top 60 songs of '06.
Okay. Highly disappointed.
I just feel like I don't love any of these songs.
What?
I have 2 songs.
What about Ghetto Story? Cham and a chicken noodle soup song.
Chicken noodle soup,
That's
okay,
the
yeah,
joint.
chicken noodle soup, that's cute.
Don't front on it.
But see, these are like novelty songs. Just like cute
You know,
novelty
I have to
songs.
say something about chicken noodle soup.
With the soda on the
Because I
side.
hated the record. I go, that makes absolutely no sense. Why would any radio station play that? And then someone broke it down for me. They go, the little girl was like, what, 15, 16?
Yeah, she's a little kid.
So they go, what else should she be rapping about? And I was like, oh,
There it is right
good,
there.
that's a good point.
It's good,
And then
strong.
I like the song, and I let it rain.
It's wholesome music.
Let it rain.
And air it out.
And air it out. My man Lupe Fiasco was on the list, and then Russell had to say something naughty. What'd you say?
I'm just being mean. I only say that because
Why?
this was my big clip. You know, when I was working at Rolling Stone magazine this summer, my big profile was of Lupe. While I was interviewing him, he told me, "Oh, I've already had fame and stardom. You know, I won a Grammy and I did this song for." But that's not true.
Did he win a Grammy under a pseudonym or
He has a
something
production
else?
company that did some work with Beyonce.
So it was like,
Good on a skateboard.
He's a black belt.
He doesn't ride a skateboard either.
He can't skate.
Doesn't really
No, he's riding.
hold on, everybody, relax.
I mean,
relax.
he can do a little bit.
Okay, we can argue about Lupe all night,
Kick and push.
but we're here for what it
and
does.
coast.
It's your radio. What else is going on, Russ? What else is going on in the world, man?
Actually, our next subject on the agenda, reality shows. That's
That's
Talk
all
about
about
it.
you.
You should be the expert on this. Let's just do a quick little interview. First of all, did you enjoy being on reality TV?
It was a good experience. I don't
Okay.
think I would ever do it again. I'm glad that I did it only as like some kind of bizarre like 21st century experiment because eventually we're all going to be on a reality show. I'd like to
Okay.
say I was one of the first 500,000 people that were on. And it was great. You know, I learned a lot. The premise was good. It wasn't completely trash. You know,
Right.
I got to work at Rolling Stone magazine.
Okay.
Interview a lot of artists. Meet a lot of people that I admired and respected. So I learned a lot. It was good. A lot of people that work at Rolling Stone were cool. The other people that I was on the show with were nice. I got to live in New York City. Great experience.
Here's the
Being-
big question. We're a couple shows in, and every
Yeah.
time you watch these reality shows, you go, all right, they edited it to make a story. Do you feel like they represented you well? I mean, even just looking at the preview for the show before they even aired, do you feel like that's me? Or did you
I
feel like, hey?
everybody's an archetype. The only scary thing was like I was sitting in the room. I was like, okay, like there's the drunk frat boy, you know, there's the blonde girl, you know, there's the shit, you know, there's the black lesbian, and then I was like, well, who am I? I didn't know who I was. It turns out I'm
Well, in Us
You're you.
Weekly, you're the troublemaker.
I'm a jerk.
Oh, that's cool. Rock on, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's big. I'm happy with it. You know, from what I've seen, I'm thrilled.
Oh, yeah. What show were you on? I forgot.
It's on MTV. It's called I'm from Rolling Stone.
Really?
Yeah, it airs Sunday nights at 10 p.m.
Good show, everybody. I've watched it.
While that was a lot of reality, now that you've seen my friend Russell Morris, you can also check him out on MTV at 10 p.m. on I Am from Rolling Stone. And it's a good show. You should check it out. We're going to be getting ready to take a commercial break right now. Don't go nowhere. Come back in a minute.
Coming up, continuing our radio saga backstage cameo, we have joining Russell and Ann and Hot Chocolate, 2 You Speak poets, Prentice and Shanaka Hodge, talking about the certain trends that are going down in Alameda County, including high death rates and including some STDs that are going up. So it should be informative. Check it out while try to get warm over here. Up in the back.
We do have to settle in a little bit on a serious topic.
Okay, what's going on?
There was a health study released in Alameda County, which revealed a lot of things, a lot of unfortunate things about young people in Alameda County. First of which, that homicide is the leading cause of death among young people in Alameda County.
Young people are shooting each other. That's bad.
You're saying that's not a surprise? Steve.
Not at all.
Why
Not at all.
I mean, you look at the way things are going. You look at the school programs being shut down. You look at how many kids you see on the block at night. You look at how many parents are in jail, locked up. I mean, you put all those statistics together. What else you expect?
There's a lot of information in here. I guess what I'm trying to look at is the relationship between information. And they're saying it's the national dropout rate is 13%. And the dropout rate in the Oakland Unified School District is 36%. And you were mentioning earlier, Shanaka, that you have a little bit of experience. I know you grew up in Oakland. You're from Oakland. What do you see in the relationship between what's happening in the high schools and this information that's coming out now?
I don't know. My mother used to say that I could only excel as far as she set the standard. So if she set the standard low, I'm only going to try and meet that expectation. I feel that's the same thing with Oakland Public Schools. It's like you go in a classroom, teachers are ill prepared. You go into restrooms, there's no toilet paper, there's no soap. It's like basic things that students deal with from kindergarten through grade 12. And so we're finding ways to cope with that and express ourselves. And I feel like oftentimes we reach for a gun, we reach to use sex. Like that's the first means of expression that humans have.
So they looked at a lot of different aspects, but what they're saying is that sexually transmitted diseases are soaring is the word that they're using. And this is a first ever report. It's just been released, and they've never done a comprehensive study like this. But it makes me think about sex education, and I don't know if this is generational, but I know that when I was in middle school and high school, I think that I was kind of bombarded by sex education.
I think in general, I mean, they're talking about Alameda County because this is the place that put it out. But I think if we look around the country, it's systemic more so than individual cities. So, check East St. Louis, check East New York, check Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and you're going to see some similar issues identified.
I think we need to start targeting younger kids. I mean, it seems a little edgy and it seems like it's not right, but I mean, kids are getting younger. So obviously they know about sex because they're having it. Yeah. So I mean, we're doing it in the high schools. We need to go to middle school.
I had my first sex education class in the 3rd grade, and I think it was tremendously helpful. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at the level that I had it in high school, but when you start to ask questions, you should be able to get honest and real answers.
You know what's funny? I had one too in 3rd grade, and I don't remember but one thing from it. There's an old man. They were on the street interviewing people about sex, and they go something about sex, and the old man goes, "Sex is precious." And I remember that, and I will always remember that. So my first experience, I was like, "Oh, sex is precious."
It's precious. It's precious.
I mean, that's what it is, man. Russell, thank you as usual. You always bring the hot info.
Excellent.
Keep us current. Ambi, you still here with me?
Oh, yes, sir.
I gotta thank my guests. What's up, y'all?
It's a pleasure to see you again.
Appreciate it. Good. It's great. It's good. Y'all know what it is. What it do's. Youth Outlook Radio. Yo Radio. Hot chocolate and B, man.
Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back with Youth Outlook with YoTV. If you're bored and you don't have nothing to do, check us out on youthoutlook.org.
That's right. Yeah, I like that.
I don't know, dude. I'm the kind of dude who likes to classify stuff,
Right.
So I like to classify things by what I would take with me on a desert island.
Okay.
What would be 3 different albums that you would take with you on a desert island?
If I was on a desert island, I don't know. I probably would pick Tupac, Soulja Slim. I like Soulja Slim and Mac Dre. You gotta give it to Mac Dre.
You gotta be fizzing on the island. Gotta get hyphy on the island.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'll be the island of Islam.
Exactly. That's what it is.
All right, I think it would be Farside for me, MF Doom, and probably Steel Pulse. True to my
Steel Pulse?
Steel Pulse, dude.
Okay.
Reggae, man. Gotta do it. Coming up next, though, we got our man Hot Chocolate breaking down 3 albums that just dropped. Mos Def, Nas, and what was the other one?
Mos Def.
Mos Def, Nas, and Ghostface. He put out 2 albums this year, dude. Ghostface put out 2 albums in 06.
So put out Fish Scale and More Fish. Huh?
Fish Scales and More Fish. So there's a lot of fishiness going on, a lot of fishy business. So check that out. Coming at you.
YoTV.
What's up? It's Hot Chocolate from 106 KMEL and also from MySpace.com, The Hot Chocolate Show. We have 3 hot albums that you have to check out this week, starting with Ghostface Killah. He's back. The album's called More Fish. It's the follow-up to his previous album, Fish Scale. If you're a Ghostface fan, you're gonna love this from front to back. A couple of my favorite tracks on there is this track Josephine, where he's talking about this epidemic of STDs, and he's talking about women and how women are seen as whores and how they should change that image and step up their game. And also, You Know I'm No Good, which is kind of his party track. It's a good track. It talks about how, we meet these women and we think that as men, we're always the players, but he switches the game and he's talking about this chick that played him. And it's just a good album all the way through. If you love Ghostface, you gotta check out More Fish. Also in stores right now, Mos Def, True Magic. If you're a Mos Def fan and you bought the last album and you were a little bit upset because you were thinking that he was gonna be all hip hop and he was gonna spit and he didn't, well, he brought it back this time. Go check out True Magic. It's in stores right now. It's Mos Def, How You Remember Him. And of course, on there's my favorite track of all time, turn to track number 3. It's called You Are the One. It's the best track in the world right now for me. It's talking about how he went through this relationship and the girl treated him bad, and he's feeling bad about himself, and his friends are feeling bad about him, but he's back. It's Most Def, he's spitting front to back. Check the album out. And last but not least, we got my man Nas with probably the most controversial album that's been out in a while. It's called Hip Hop is Dead. And a lot of people are like, how can hip hop be dead? I'm doing hip hop, I'm doing that. But Nas brings into this album and he talks about a lot of issues like hip hop, how it was, is no longer what it is. It really asks the question. I don't think it really gives the answers. He talks a lot about what hip hop was. He talks a lot about, you know, where hip hop has been and who were the characters who were part of this, creating this thing that we love so much. And I think he wants to bring it back to its essence. So hopefully he's successful. So check out the album. Couple hot tracks on there. Where Are They Now? Track number 4. He's talking about all old school hip hop that you may remember or that you don't remember. It might make you want to go research something. I know there was a few names in there that I didn't know. I had to go Google. Also, there's this track, it's kind of funny, it's called Who Killed It, another great track on the album. Check those out. 3 great albums. Ghostface, More Fish, in stores now. Most Def, True Magic, and also Nas, Hip Hop is Dead. Those are my choices for this week. It's Hot Chocolate. It's YoTV. That's how we do it.
All right, I'm just kicking it here, you know, on Treasure Island, looking at that pretty little bridge right behind us, all that car traffic that we are missing out on. Thank you. But anyways, thank you for watching us. We love you, and we like bringing you stories about the young and the restless here in the Bay Area. Check us out, right, at the website, Yo Youth Outlook.
MySpace, go to youthoutlook.org. We're everywhere. Hit us up.
That's right. So go ahead and check us out. Yo, same time, yo, same channel, and yo, same TV.
And enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Do your thing. Be good. Quit killing each other, suckers. All right.
Patrol.
The Bay. Patrol. The Bay.
He made her look out her window like, what the talking about? Oh, Alameda County and how they just did the. Sorry.
You just spit on me. That was hella cold.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I understand.
Damn.
Well,
and your breath smell like Patron.